Hey, what's up guys, it's DarkArmedDuelist, and today we're going to be doing a Dragunity deck profiles. This deck is a really fun deck that just got some insane new support in Ghosts from the past, and I'm really excited to do an update of this deck because I've been waiting to do a build for this deck for a while. Ever since they even announced the support for the deck, I have wanted the support for a long time. I love this deck, and it's a really fun deck to play because it's based on Synchro Summoning and Dragon Rider. So without further ado guys, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell there so you can become part of the notification squad, and definitely check out the Patreon in the description below for all those awesome rewards, like getting your name description in a single video, getting assigned cards in the mail, or even getting to request a deck profile every single month as your patron, along with test hands. So without further ado, let's get straight on into this. So first off, we're going to be playing a single copy of Dragunity Arma Leviathan. Leviathan is a really good one of. You just need one copy of it because what this card does, you can special summon this card from your hand or graveyard by removing from play one face-up monster you control equipped with a Dragunity card. And when this card is normal or special summon, you get to select a dragon type monster in your graveyard, except another copy of itself, and equip it to this card. And then when this card is sent to the graveyard by an opponent's card effect, you can select one monster that were equipped to this card when this card was sent to the graveyard, and special summon those monsters from the grave, which is a really good effect just to be able to get you those additional monsters on your side of the field. It's an overall really powerful card. It's a 2600 beat stick, and it's just overall really nice. We then play a single copy of Dragunity Arma Mistletoe. Mistletoe is where it gets starting to get really spicy. You can special summon this card from your hand by sending one face-up Dragunity monster you control to the graveyard, and then when this card is normal special summon, you can select a dragon type Dragunity monster in your grave and equip to this card. This card can be looped over and over again, and it's just a really powerful combo piece. You need it as at least a 1 of. I considered actually playing it as a 2 of, but I can search it so easily in this deck that I just play it as a 1 of. We then play 3 of the new copy of the Dragunity level 4 monster. This card is really good because if you control a Dragon's Ravine or a Dragunity monster, you can special summon this card from your hand, and if a Dragunity monster is in your spell and trap card zone, you can target one spell and trap on the field and destroy it. This card is ridiculously good as a 3 of. I love this card in this deck as a 3 of, and it's really good as a combo extender. We then play 3 copies of the Dragunity Centus. Centus is pretty good as a normal summon as your first turn play, because what it does is you can discard a Dragunity card to equip a Dragunity tuner monster from your deck to this card, and also you can't special summon monster from your X deck the turn you activate this effect, except for dragons, which is fine because the majority of the stuff you're going to be summoning is dragons anyways. And it has the ability also that if a Dragunity cards you control would be destroyed by battle or by card effect, you can destroy one Dragunity card equipped to this card instead, which is really awesome. Play a single copy of Dux, because Dux is a great combo piece as well, because when this card is normal summoned, you get to target one level 3 or lower dragon Dragunity monster in your grave and equipped to this card, which is really good for this deck. Then we're going to play 3 of the new card, which is 3 copies of Remus. So Remus is ridiculous. I never thought I would see the day that I would see a card that said discard this card and then you get to add a copy of Dragon's Ravine. But hey, Dragon's Ravine at one point was even banned, which was ridiculous during Dragon Ruler format, and this card is now out. Like, I cannot even imagine what this card would have been like back then. But basically what this card does is it can't be used as Synchro Summon except for the Synchro Summon of a Dragunity monster. You can discard this card to add a Dragon's Ravine from your deck to your hand, and if you control Dragon, or if you control a Dragunity monster, you can special summon this card from your graveyard but banish it when it leaves the field, and also you cannot special summon monsters in your X deck for the rest of the turn, except for dragon monsters. You only use each effect of this card once per turn. This card is ridiculously good, and you have to play this card as a 3 of in this deck. This deck is ridiculous with this card, and it's so busted. We then play 2 copies of Phalanx. Phalanx is also a really good card in this deck because you can equip this card once per turn. When this card is equipped to a monster, you can special summon this card as an equipped card to your side of the field. So it's a pretty good level 2 tuner monster just to give you extended plays. 2 copies of Koos. Koos is really good because it can't be used as Synchro Summon except for the Synchro Summon of Dragunity. And also you can level manipulate this card to make it a level 4, which is pretty good as well. But it is just an overall really good 2 of in this particular deck. I then play a single copy of Miss Valley Baby Rock. Baby Rock is really good because it's just an overall really great card, because if this card is sent from your hand to the graveyard, you can special summon it. I like it as a 1 of. You can get away with 2, and a lot of builds do play 2, but this deck is already 43 cards, so I was trying to cut down on a couple of cards. You can bump one back in if you want to and play 2 and make it 44, but I just like playing 1 in my build. We then play a single copy of Tempest because it's pretty much all wind monsters in the deck, and there's also a really neat combo with Gold Sarcophagus that you can send this card and banish it, and if this card is banished, you get to add one one wind monster from your deck to your hand, or wind dragon type monster from your deck to your hand, which is really, really good. We play 2 copies of Garuda, the Wind Spirit, because it's so easy to just give it as an extender, as a level 4 extender. 1 Red Eyes Darkness Metal, because Darkness Metal, it just works with Red Eye, or just works with dragon monsters, so this card is just really, 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 really good. And then a single copy of Zaphros, the Elite, to round out the non-Pendulum monsters that we're playing, because if this card is in your graveyard, you can return 1 face-up card you control to your hand, and then special summon this card, and then you take 400 points damage, but you can only use this effect once per duel. So this card is really good in the deck just to be able as an extender to get it onto your side of the field, as for synchro plays and all sorts of really neat combos. So that's it for the monsters that are not pendulums. Let's get into the pendulum monsters. So for the pendulum monsters, we're playing 3 copies of Odd Eyes Revolution Dragon. Odd Eyes Revolution is really good because basically it has the ability that the last line of this card is you can pay half your life points to shuffle all other cards from the field and graveyards into the deck. And also it has the ability that you can discard this card to pay 500 life points to add 1 level 8 or lower Dragon Pendulum monster from your deck to your hand, which we actually have 2 really neat ones that we're about to show you guys. You play a single copy of Darkworm, because Darkworm, if sent to the graveyard, you can special summon it. And you play a single copy of Gate Zero, because Gate Zero is really good to be able to search off your copy of your Darkworm. And also it has the ability that if you have it in the graveyard, or if you have this card in your hand, you can use it as a discard for your Dragon's Ravine. And then we play a single copy of Goliath, because Goliath is a great searcher off the copy of your Odd Eyes Revolution, and it has the ability that neither player can special summon monsters except for Amorphages from the extra deck, so you make this card last and lock down the extra deck, which is really nice. And then we play a single copy of Amorphage Lechery. Lechery basically is really good to put in your spell and trap card zone as a pendulum scale, because when you control an Amorphage monster, neither player can activate spell cards or their effects. So you basically lock down spells and special summons from the extra deck, which is really awesome in this deck, that you can use both of these and kind of lock your opponent down. So that's it for the monsters, guys. Let's get into spells. So for the spells, we're going to be playing a single copy of Terraforming, because Terraforming just gets us to Dragon's Ravine even faster. 1 copy of Gold Sarcophagus for Tempest, because you can use this with Tempest to get you a search. 1 copy of Foolish Burial, because Foolish Burial is just really good in this deck, because you're trying to get your cards to the graveyard as quickly as possible, so you can re-equip them to your other monsters. 2 copies of Dragon's Ravine. Dragon's Ravine is really, really, really good in this deck. You can cut 1 Dragon's Ravine if you want to make it 42. I'm still kind of like bringing the card ratios down to get it to 40, as close as 40 as possible, but I really like this build right here is the one that I went with and fell in love with, and so I've kind of left it alone. But you can, if you want to, cut 1 copy. I wouldn't recommend it, but you can if you want to. But basically this card lets you send a dragon monster from your deck to the graveyard, which works really good with Darkworm. Play a single copy of Divine Lance for combo. Basically this card lets you equip it to a Dragunity monster, and it gains attack equal times level times 100, and also it has the ability you can equip 1 dragon monster, or during the main phase you can equip 1 dragon type Dragunity tuner monster from your deck to a monster equipped with this card as well, but you only use the effect once per turn. It's easy to search this card. It's just a really overall good card. 2 copies of Dragunity Glow. Dragunity Glow lets you add a level 5 or higher Dragunity monster from your deck or graveyard to your hand, which is your copy of Mistletoe and your copy of Arma Leviathan. And it also has the ability that you can banish this card from the graveyard and then target 1 monster in your spell and trap card zone that's equipped to a Dragunity monster and immediately special summon it in defense, which is a very powerful effect just to be able to get you an additional monster on your side of the field, like a Remus, Koos, any of those monsters that you need. We play 3 copies of Dragon's Ravine, because Dragon's Ravine is ridiculous, and it lets you once per turn discard a card, and then you either add a level 4 or lower Dragunity monster from your deck to your hand, or send a dragon monster from your deck to the graveyard, which is really insane. Like, this card literally does it all. It's an equips, or it's a searcher, it's a Foolish Barrel. Like, this card literally does everything, and the deck lives and dies by this card, so you have to get this card on your field as quickly as possible. And then we play 3 copies of Dark Ruler No More. The Dark Ruler No More is just really important, because you want to, like, if you get pushed to go second, you really want to have the Dark Ruler, because you want to drop the Dark Ruler against your opponent, then make full combo against them. So this card is really important to play in the deck. I love Dark Ruler, and it's really, really awesome. So that's it for the main deck, guys. Let's get into the extra deck. So for the extra deck, we're going to be playing a single copy of the new Dragunity Knight Arbalair. Arbalair is really good because it has the ability that you can, when your opponent activates a monster effect, quick effect, you can banish 1 Dragunity monster from your graveyard, negate the activation if you destroy it, and banish that card. And if this card destroys a monster by battle, then after damage calculation, you can banish that opponent's monster. And if this synchro summon card in its owner's control is destroyed by an opponent's card, you can destroy all spells and traps your opponent controls. Like, this card literally has no downside, and it's probably one of the most busted Dragunity cards in the deck. And it has the ability also that you have to use a Dragunity tuner to summon this, but Kus plus any level 6 is just easy to summon this card onto your side of the field, or your Barcha and a copy of a level 2 like a Phalanx. It's just really easy to summon this card to your field. It's like a negation, and it's just board wide. It's like, this card is really, really good. We then play a single copy of Ascalon. Ascalon is also really good in the deck too. It's not quite as good as Arbalair, but has the ability to banish a Dragunity monster from your graveyard to target one card your opponent controls and banish it. And if this card is synchro summon card in its owner's control is destroyed by an opponent's card, then you can special summon one Dragunity synchro monster with 3,000 or less attack from your extra deck and is treated as a synchro summon. So it just basically lets you cheat out basically a synchro monster. The same copy of Barcha. Barcha just basically equips it with all of the Dragunity cards that are in your graveyard, and then it gains 300 attack for each one. So basically it just like helps you. It's basically walking soul charge, because they all can just immediately special summon themselves off their own effects, and it's really good with Phalanx. And so this card is just a good one-up to me. You can play 2. I play 1 because I have a lot of other cards that I like prioritize over the second one, but you can get away with 2, but I think 1 is fine. We then play the same copy of Gator. Gator is really good because you can once per turn add 1 level 4 or lower dragon or winged beast monster from your deck to your hand, and then discard a dragon or winged beast. So this card works really well with your Baby Rock and your Zapdos the Elite. This card is really good as a combo piece in the deck for that. You play the same copy of the Dragunity Knight. This one's really good. Vatriana. Vatriana is when this card is synchro summoned, you can target 1 level 3 or lower dragon monster, Dragunity monster in your graveyard, equip to this card, and you can only effect this card once per turn. And then also you can send 1 equip card, equip this card to the graveyard to double this card's attack all the way up to 38, which is pretty good just to be able to give you that additional boost. Then we play a single copy of Lunan. Lunan is really good too. Lunan's a tuner monster, which is really helpful, because if this card is synchro summon, or if this card is special summon, you get to target a Dragunity in your graveyard, equip this card, and this card is sent to the graveyard, you target a Dragunity monster you control and equip this card to it, and it gains 1,000 attack and event. So this card can be really helpful, being able to special summon itself back to your side of the field off your different Dragunity monsters effects, and it's just an overall really good extender. This is the card I was mentioning. You can drop this for another Barcha, but I like it as a one-of in the deck. Play a single copy of Crystal Wing, because it's a great card to put on your side of the field for monster negations and a Borreload Savage. You should be ending on Borreload Savage the majority of the time. You play a single copy of the Hieratic Dragon King of Atum. This card is ridiculously easy with all of your level 6s that you're going to be summoning out in the deck, and Mistletoe. This card is really easy to get your copy of Darkness Metal to your side of the field. One copy of Darkness Metal, the Dragon of Dark Steel. Dark Steel is just really good to end on, because you can target a monster that is banished or in your graveyard and immediately special summon to zone this card points to in defense position, but its effects are negated. And also you cannot special summon link monsters for its turn that you summon this card, or excuse me, and the summon monster is placed on the bottom of the deck when it leaves the field. So it's really good as a last card in your combo to summon this card for the link arrows. One copy of Triple Burst Blast Dragon. This card is just a really good extender. You can treat it, target a level or link 2 or lower monster in your graveyard, special summon it. You can special summon 1 level 4 or lower monster from your hand. So it's pretty good just to be able to give it as an additional extender. Remus or Romulus is really good too, because if this card is link summoned, you get to add a Dragunity Spell or Trap or Dragon's Ravine from your deck to your hand, which is great to be able to grab them from your deck. One of the Hieratic Seal of the Heavenly Spheres. Heavenly Spheres is really good to give you additional bounces, and then you play Pisty and Elpie for the Guard Dragon plays, because the Guard Dragons are just really good in this deck overall, because you can just make all sorts of different crazy plays with these in the combos. So that's it for the deck, guys. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Definitely tell me what you think of this deck down in the comments down below. It's a really crazy deck to play around with, especially that this deck just keeps getting support. Like, we got support in Cybernetic Horizon, we just got support in Ghost from the past, we've gotten support in Hidden Arsenal. Like, this deck just keeps getting more and more support. I swear they want this deck to be meta, and I really think that maybe after the next ban list it might be. Like, this deck very well could be meta if they don't hit LP or Pisty. Like, this deck could be very quickly on the track to be meta, especially with 3 Dragon's Ravines being a searcher and it being like a 6 to 7 of in the deck. Like, it's really easy to grab. So that's it for this deck, guys. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell there so you can become part of the notification squad, and definitely tell me what you think of this deck down in the comments down below, and we'll see you guys in the next video. See you later, guys.